It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. Now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, we made it to the weekend. I don't know about you, but I am so happy. It is a Friday. Yay, it's Friday. Yeah, it was one of those Fridays for me too. I don't know about you. Yeah, but you know what? The Ohio Players had a song called It's All Over. So the week is all over. We got it behind us. We got the weekend ahead of us. Ladies and gentlemen, I come to you live Monday through Friday. I know this week I came to you Tuesday, holiday break, but I'm back Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss me live, shame on you. Where the hell you been? It's all right. I'm not going to yell at you. Just go to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. You subscribe, share, and you can binge watch all my back episodes. So you don't need Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime and Paramount and all that, because you got the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel and the shows that are fire. So listen, we got a great show, my weekend review show. And I got my guests. I got the band back together. I got my guys with me. So it's going to be straight fire tonight. Sports broadcasting icon and legend, Eric Clemons, you heard me. He joined me Wednesday, and he promised me. As a matter of fact, he was in his car. He's just a good dude. The brother was in his car, but he said, G, I'm going to come off for a couple of minutes, and let's run it back. He said, let's run it back like on the courts, like back in the day, growing up in Chicago, or Coach Matthews is down in Atlanta when they get on the courts outside, say, hey, man, let's run it back if you lose. We didn't lose, but we're running it back. And I got both my guys with me, so I'm really amped. So off the top, let me just do this. 2 years ago today, the U.S. government and the United States Capitol, it was attacked by thousands of racist, violent, white nationalist, domestic terrorists that attempted to violently overthrow the United States government and this country. That threat still exists. As a matter of fact, a couple Capitol police officers eventually lost their lives because of the trauma, the mental trauma and the physical trauma they endured on that day 2 years ago today, January 6th. Don't forget that date. Never forget it. All right, so I just want to shout out the United States Capitol Police, because they were just really virtually all by themselves. All by them. This is like a song. All by myself. They were really all by themselves for hours and hours and hours. And I'm not talking about a Money Long song right there. So shout out to the men and women, the U.S. Capitol Police, that literally saved this democracy, put their lives on the line. And in a couple cases, that their life, really, they sacrificed their life to defend this democracy. Some people say, is it really worth it? It's a whole different show, different conversation. It's Friday. I just want to put it out there, but just please understand that threat still exists. So these domestic terrorists, they are police in police departments, local, state, federal government, local, state, federal law enforcement. They are on school boards. Some are your neighbors. Some of them are teaching our kids in school. Some of them are your doctors. I digress. Happy birthday. So let me segue. Shout out my Capricorns celebrating a birthday today. Tiffany Pollard. You're saying, okay, who the hell is Tiffany Pollard? Remember New York. Remember the show Flavor of Love featuring Flavor Flav. So that was his boo for a minute. So New York, that's what they called her. She's 41 today. Let's see, Kathy Sledge from the group Sister Sledge, back in the late 70s and early 80s, 64 today. NFL quarterback Jameis Winston, he's celebrating a birthday. He's 29 today. And Ndamukong Suh, one of the meanest, nastiest, some people say dirtiest defensive linemen in the National Football League, is 36 today. And happy heavenly birthday to John Singleton, filmmaker, writer, director. He made this iconic movie, Boys in the Hood, a movie that really launched Three acting careers, really. Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., and Morris Chestnut. Because you know y'all ladies love y'all some Morris Chestnut. And Nia Long was also in that movie, iconic cast. They made that movie, it came out in 1991, but John Singleton went on. He did Poetic Justice, he did Baby Boy, Higher Learning. He would have been 55, double nickel today. He died tragically, suffered a stroke, and never really fully recovered. He would have been 55. He died in 2019. So let me segue because I want to bring my guest on. I got some great news. I saved like the best news for last. So 4 days ago, Monday night, young man that most of us, even those of us that follow sports, who are really into sports, never heard of this brother. Young man named DAMAR HAMLIN, second year in the league. He's a safety defensive back for the Buffalo Bills. Drafted in the 6th round 2 years ago in 2020. He's playing 14 games this year. Anyway, he made a tackle. And he made the tackle. A guy named T. Higgins that plays for the Cincinnati Bengals. So T. Higgins kind of put his face and helmet, face mask into a DAMAR HAMLIN's chest. DAMAR's tackling him like this. And they kind of roll over. DAMAR HAMLIN gets up, stumbles back, collapses, goes into cardiac arrest. Had to be resuscitated right there on the field. Then they got him in an ambulance, got him to the hospital, a couple blocks away, University of Cincinnati. Shout out to those doctors. But shout out to the trainer, shout out to the assistant athletic trainer, and I don't have his name in front of me, but shout out to him, because he is the one that has been credited for literally saving DAMAR HAMLIN's life. He got on the field and administered the CPR, the chest compressions to get the heart to start beating normally, or at least just to get a heartbeat, because his heart stopped. Technically, DAMAR HAMLIN died on the field. And then they got the defibrillators, as they call them, defibrillators. You see something. A lot of jobs have them. I think every job, every school, any sporting event should have what they call the AED, the electric defibrillators. Gotta have them. In a lot of states, it's law. It's mandatory to have them at like any kind of big sporting event. But anyway, so DAMAR HAMLIN goes into cardiac arrest. His teammates are in tears and just in disbelief. The coaches, they suspend the game temporarily. Eventually, they postponed it, and now the game is just postponed. They're not going to play it again. That's a whole different conversation. They got DAMAR to the hospital. They got coded again. Coded means he went into cardiac arrest again at the hospital. They resuscitated him. He was on a ventilator, and I got to confess, Tuesday and Wednesday, especially Tuesday, I was actually praying. I was really praying that this kid would survive, but I was so afraid he would not make it. But I said, listen, Lord, this is bigger than me. The whole nation was praying for this brother. So many people. The great news. Today, he's not on a ventilator. He's talking. As a matter of fact, he talked to his teammates. He FaceTimed his teammates and flexed on them and gave them the heart symbol and, just said, I love you, boys. I can't think of any greater news than that he's off a ventilator. He's able to talk, and all his neurological faculties, as they say it, his neurological system is working the way it should in terms of brain function and memory. Thank God for that. So, this brother's got a long way, but he's got a long road ahead of him. But he's got his life. So yesterday when he couldn't speak, he still had the ventilator in his mouth. He could write, and he wrote down, did we win? He wanted to know, hey, man, did the Bills win? And one of the doctors wrote back, yes, DAMAR, you won the game of life. And brother DAMAR, you definitely won the game of life. So without any further delay, let me bring my guest on, ladies and gentlemen. Look at Eric Clemons, like the celebrity he is, chilling. Coach Matthews, my man, you see Eric sitting there in his palatial estate right there on the Pacific Ocean with the Golden Gate Bridge behind him. I'm not mad at you. One day when I grow up, I want to be just like you, Eric Clemons.
It's just a background, bro. It's just a background.
No, you being modest.
It ain't the real
It's all
deal.
good. I ain't going to put your business out there like
It's
that.
an electronic background. It ain't the real deal. I'm good, though. I'm good. It took me about an hour. It took me about an hour to get there from where I am. But it's all good.
All right, beautiful, man. And there in Atlanta, you got Coach Chris Matthews. Hey, Coach. Cut your mic on for me, Coach. Yeah, cut your mic on for me.
Sorry about that.
That's
What's
all right.
going on,
It's all
Geno?
good.
What's going on, Eric? How you doing?
How we
I'm doing well, brother. How about you?
I'm good, man. It's a good Friday.
Good.
It is.
Yeah,
So
good
listen,
Friday, definitely.
I'm
Good
gonna let
Friday.
you guys just jump right in. I did the monologue and the intro. We all are so happy about the news. So, Coach, what's your reaction? And then Eric, give me your reaction about the great news about DAMAR Hamlin.
Man, this, like I say, it's Good Friday. It couldn't be a better time to have that kind of news, especially going into the playoff weekend. Just the football aspect. Nobody wants to see any kind of tragedy like that happens on the field. In my lifetime, I've never seen anything like that happen before. I mean, I guess it's first and the last, hopefully. I'm glad he's good. I'm glad his family, is there with him. Just a good positive day, just to have good positive news for a change. Just take away the football aspect of it, just the humanity side of it is the more important thing that matters.
And Eric, you know, you and I talked about on Wednesday that unfortunately this has happened before and it didn't have a happy ending.
Right.
We were kids and literally watched the guy, Chuck Hughes, playing for the
Absolutely.
Detroit Lions, a regionally televised game versus the Chicago Bears. And he didn't even get hit, Coach. He was just running back to the huddle. He wasn't even involved in it was an incomplete pass to another player.
Right.
And he was running back to the huddle and he just collapsed. And they tried to resuscitate him, but they couldn't. He died right there on the field. So and that,
Dick Butkus thought he was faking.
Yeah,
he went over to talk trash, like, get up, boy. And then he said, man, he was blue. So he started motioning to somebody else. Now, that's a lot of years, Coach. So we ain't gonna both give our ages away necessarily. We were only babies, We
Was
could
it
barely
black and white? Wasn't it black and white?
No, they had color TV. It wasn't. Come on, Coach.
We had color TV.
Come on, Coach. Don't do me, Coach. Don't do me.
My family didn't have one, so I'm gonna keep it real. I saw it in black and white. But anyway, that dude. I mean, they brought a doctor from the stands and all that stuff. I mean, they didn't have any preparation for a guy who I understand later had bad arteries and stuff. He had the heart of about a 60-year-old. But he was playing football as a 28-year-old because there was just no way to discover it back then. And unfortunately, he passed away and left behind a wife and son. And I'm really glad that medical advancements, technology are such that if that should happen again, the equipment is there to save lives. And I think, Coach and Geno, what it really did in this era of everybody has a hot take, in this era of everybody looks at these guys as numbers and their fantasy team, in this era of they're gladiators, they're invincible, there's nothing that's going to happen to them. All of us were shocked into the reality of, wait, he's a human being? Oh my God, that human being just keeled over and could have easily passed away on the field. Like Geno said, technically he did. He was resuscitated twice. So man, was it a relief for me to hear that news today that, strength, wherever it came from, God above, I think we know the main source. But man, it's so happy. I'm so happy that it seems like he's going to recover at least to the point where he can live a semi-normal life if he doesn't resume football again.
Yeah. Guys, let me just ask you real quick, because we're gonna talk about this situation, about his life after football, because we got to talk about that. And somebody else did. We saw a video. We're gonna shout this brother out, but just on a personal note, man, I don't know about you all, but this really hit me like it was my son. I have 2 daughters. I have a son-in-law. I have nephews. But man, it hit me like he was my son and my nephew. I mean, there were times I'm fighting back tears because, like, I got to be honest, and I said this earlier. Tuesday, I was so afraid that I was going to look at the news and get a notification and just get like bad news and say the kid didn't make it. I was so afraid. I honestly was praying for this kid that he would make it, but I was so afraid because I know how serious that was. How did it affect you all in any emotional way? I'm sure it did, but I'm just it really. And I was surprised. Absolutely. It hit me like it was my son.
Man, absolutely, Geno. It took me back to my playing time. I was like, wow, I couldn't imagine just being able to see that my teammate down, not moving. Of course, you play the game long enough to see a lot of injuries happen, and they'll pick them up and move off the field, and the game goes on. But this is the first time I've seen a whole entire world just about stood still for a second, for at least 10 minutes, man. And they actually, people of all colors, background, races, whatever you want to say, people were praying for this kid. They wanted the best for him on the football field, So, like I say, it was definitely world changing. I would say this is going to make people look at athletes in a whole different language, a whole different look. Like, we're human, athletes are human. It's because they're doing the job, they're playing sports, they're playing the game, they get paid a lot of money to do it. But at the end of the day, man, they got families, they're human, things happen, and that's what it's all about. Just the humanity side of it is people actually stood still and they actually paid attention. And what was more important than the football game, it was all about this kid's life. And that was big, that was like really big. It touched me for real. It touched everybody I talked to I play ball with. They all said the same thing. Like, and we couldn't imagine something like that happening. How would you feel? And going forward, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, stark contrast to what we saw. Again, we were just babies. It was black and white, but I think Chuck Hughes actually died on the field.
Yeah,
they took him off, and the game continued. Now, I don't think it should or ever would happen again at present. But again, just that stark thing to see these young gladiators, these guys, the top 1% of athletes in the world, to fall like a tree and to be like, whoa.
How did it hit you, Eric, personally?
It was just total shock. I almost couldn't watch because it just did something to my emotion, just the humanity. Just like this dude, and I know we'll get into it, but all right. So, I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but what about the future? I mean, he was a second-year dude making $185, $200,000 a year. Now that's great money for you and I out here in the normal world, but we know when you get off that rookie contract and after that 4 years, now the big bucks start rolling in, and it ain't because of the fries, like the dude mentioned in the movie. Next year, I'm gonna be on fries. That's when the big bucks start rolling in. But the brother in Ohio points out that the NFL, even though you get this outward thing, doesn't really have to do anything for this kid.
And let me jump in. Let's segue, because you led me right into it, Eric. Let me jump in, because I want you all to have plenty of time so we can go ahead and really just take a deep dive. So let me shout out Garrett Bush. He's on, actually it's a show on YouTube, The Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He played at Ohio University. So his question was, okay now NFL, so here's the situation. DAMAR was drafted in the 6th round. No guaranteed contract. His salary this season was $825,000. He got $160,000 in bonuses this season. They get game checks. People don't understand. It's like, when the season is over, you're not getting a check from the team. You get a game check, and that's it. Then you don't get paid. Even if you go to the Super Bowl February, you don't see another check till probably August or September.
Yeah,
I don't even think you get checks.
Depending on how you have it set up.
Yeah, I don't even think you get a check for playing preseason games.
I'm not sure of that one, but I think they do, but I'm not positive.
Right.
I know checks are set up different. Some people get paid on a month-to-month basis for 12 months. Some people get paid by game. It all depends, but usually a rookie gets paid what I said. I think I said 185. I inverted my numbers, 8 something, but it's still a low amount of money for compared to other people.
His salary was $825,000 this year. Aaron Rodgers' salary is like $54 million. Patrick Mahomes is right around $50 million. So,
there you go.
Now, I digress. Yes, I know we're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, but the point we're trying to make, this kid, 6th-round draft picks usually don't make the team. So let's talk about going forward, because I honestly, I don't see any, and I would love to, well, you know, I was going to say I would love to see him play, but I don't know if, because I'm looking at him like my son. If I had a son, I wouldn't want, after that, I wouldn't want him to play again. But let's go forward, because he only played 2 years. Does he get a pension? No. The NFL, you got to play at least 3 to 4 years, 4 years before you can get a pension. All right?
Yep.
So let's talk about disability. The NFL ain't really big on disability. As a matter of fact, only 15% of people in America get disability through Social Security. Well, the NFL, the rate of them paying disability claims is lower than that. So before the last contract that the players union signed with the owners in the league, players would get, if they approved it, you know, you got basically a 15% chance of getting your disability claim honored and acknowledged. They would get $22,000 a month. So now, if you are able to get a claim, you only get $4,000 a month. So they went from $22,000 a month to $4,000 a month. No pension. But he doesn't qualify. He didn't qualify for pension, disability. He doesn't have health insurance. When this season is over, he's not going to be on the team. They are not contractually obligated to pay him. He doesn't have their health insurance. So who's going to take care of this kid? Now, the players get $31,000 for playing in the division playoffs. They get $56,000 if they play in the AFC. His team plays in the AFC Championship game. And if they win the Super Bowl, each player gets $124,000. The losers get $62,000. But what is Terry Pagula? He owns the Buffalo Bills. He owns the Buffalo Sabres, which is the pro hockey team in Buffalo. His net worth, you could round it off to $7 billion, 6.7, so just round it up. He's worth $7 billion. So it's a conversation, shout out to Garrett Bush, that nobody wants to have, because the owners are always protected. People complain about the players. So there's a salary cap for players, but there's no cap. There's no profit cap for owners. So I give you all the floor, Coach. Turn your mic up if you can for me, and I'll just let you, because you all both saw the same video that we saw, and the brother was spot on. He was passionate about it, because the hypocrisy of a league that has already made $9 billion this year.
Wow. It's going back to the old saying, you know, the show, you know, continues to go on because the NFL is the biggest entertainment sport in the United States. No matter what they say about the NBA or soccer or anything like that, the NFL brings the fan base. And so on the flip side, the owners know that. So that's why you got these billion-dollar owners who pretty much, they run it like a slave plantation out there. And I'm going to go a little deeper with it, because
go ahead now.
When you go to the compounds, before you go to the team, they check the height, the weight, the size, the measurements, everything to the bottom of your feet to the tip of your fingers. So that's pretty much what they did in slavery. They want to see if they're getting the best kind of buck we can get for their money. So at the end of the day, tragic things happen to players all the time on their field. Sometimes guys don't get those opportunities, but they look at it like this. I got the next man come right behind you. You know, that's going to be bigger, faster, and stronger. And the show got to keep going. I still got to make that money. I still got to sell those tickets. I still got to get those fans to buy those tickets. It's a business, you know, and it's sad. You know, it's a business when you're using human lives, because at the end of the day, like a lot of these guys, when they finish football, they don't have life insurance. If they don't have life insurance, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't invest in medical insurance like they should. And so when they're done with
Disability.
football,
Yeah.
disability, they're done.
Long-term disability.
In the NFL, and then they tell you it's a contract. They're not liable to take care of you after football. You got Hall of Famers, man. I know personally a Hall of Famer that, you know, he was struggling for a while, just with the medical, you know. So it's sad, you know. You make so much money for those owners, and they don't even give you a percentage of that money should come back for a lifetime. But like I said, man, it's the next man up. You know, the show got to go on.
And Coach, let me say this as I toss it to Eric. And the world witnessed it Monday night. We've known it. I know we've had conversations off camera about it. And I think the players are really realizing it. Listen, all you brothers, and when I say brothers, I mean brothers, black, white, Hispanic, you all got the power.
Yes.
You all got the power. Nobody is paying $1,500 to see Robert Kraft. Ain't nobody paying to see Jerry Jones. He thinks they are, but ain't nobody paying to see Jerry Jones. Nobody's paying to see the McCaskey family. Virginia McCaskey's 100.
Yep.
Ain't nobody paying to see her. Ain't nobody paying to see these owners. And if the players realize you all got the power, and if you really stick together and unite like you did Sunday, or Monday, I should say Monday night, because if any league should have guaranteed contracts, it should be the NFL players. Eric, you know this better than me. There's no NFL team that loses money. They don't even just break even. And all of them are billionaires, man. You take the floor.
Listen, I saw something. I don't know how true it is, and I don't have time to count. But if we count it by 1 second, 1, 2, 3, it would take 31 years to count to 1 billion. 31 years. Okay? You got people worth 9 billion, 7 billion, 5 billion, whatever. I think this is a wake-up call for the players union. If they negotiated this non-coverage stuff in other collective CBAs before, collective bargaining agreements, they're gonna all be thinking now, whoa, what if that, because for every one of them, there's a slight chance of some gruesome injury. You know, if the leg twists the wrong way, that's life-threatening too.
Yes.
You know, you get hit in the wrong part of the chest, and the electromagnetic stuck to the heart gets screwed up, and you get a guy under cardiac arrest. All these things can happen, and they sign up for it, but their families don't. And I'm not a doctor. I don't play one on TV, but I can't imagine a brother suffering that kind of injury at that age, where he had to be resuscitated twice, would think, I'm going to go back on the field and take the chance that I could possibly take that hit again. And this time, they don't resuscitate. I would just be shocked if he was able to resume his career. You know, if that be the case.
I hate it. I've been very hesitant, and I've kind of caught myself. But the facts are, we just have to be honest, because you covered the league and still do professionally for 3 decades, Eric. We both, Chris and I, we know pro athletes. We played semi-pro, but we had pro-level skills, and we had guys, friends that went on to play in the NFL and other pro sports. We know that there's no owner that's going to take a chance on giving this kid a contract to play.
I mean, I can't imagine it. So we got to figure out a way, or they got to figure out a way, and realize that there is no NFL without the players.
And Eric,
there
let me
is
just throw
no
this in
NFL.
here real quick. Not to cut you just here. Let me just throw this in there real quick. So the contract between the players union and the owners, you know, they just signed it in 21. You know when it expires? in 2030.
Oh my God, that I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten that one.
In 2030.
And another thing too, also, what a lot of people are not really talking about, they're not talking about the other guys. A lot of these guys can be mentally,
right.
I mean, just messed
Thank you,
up.
Coach. We didn't even talk about the CTE, Eric, and
CTE,
we know a former Bears player that
right.
The mental side is going to be
Dave Durson.
A game changer.
Yeah, tell about Dave Durson, Eric.
Yeah, I mean Dave Durson and so many others, Junior Seau, they develop these fits of rage and anger, and then they go next to suicidal stuff, and sometimes we don't catch them before they commit the suicide. And unfortunately for Seau and Durson, and there's others, and then there's guys. Remember the running back 35 for the Raiders back in the day, Smith? I can't remember the first name. He was just almost a vegetable. Look at Steve McMichael.
Yeah.
He's. I'm praying for that brother.
Really?
He's in the hospital now.
Oh, I
Steve
didn't know
McMichael
that.
is shriveled. Steve McMichael might weigh 150 pounds.
What?
He's in the hospital bed. He can barely move because the ALS develops from the CTE.
Oh.
And I don't expect Steve McMichael to be around. Now, he might outlive me, but I don't expect him to be around a whole lot longer because people just don't survive that.
And he was part of that Bears 85 defense.
He was part of the 85 defense. Big, strong,
I hadn't heard that
76.
about Steve McMichael. Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, Google him, and he's fighting, man. He's a fighter, but there are so many, and Coach knows I done probably forgot 100 of them. Right. Now, to me, if the game is like that and everybody's making billions, you can't give the people that laid the foundation for the game, the Hall of Fame guys, the guys that are retired, you can't put something aside for them to get $5K a month or something. You can't have a automatic insurance policy on these guys that if they do have a debilitating or career-ending injury, that they can get $22,000 a month and not really. I mean, hey, you and I mean, I don't know about you, Geno. I don't know about you, Coach, but I never reached $825K a year yet.
No, I'm claiming it this year, though.
Okay, there you go. But I mean, and we know Brother Hamlin is he one of the lowest paid players in the league?
Yes,
at $825.
Right.
So now, when we think about them not as humans but as some pampered whatever, where these guys, most of them work hard, dedicate their lives to being in shape and playing hard and representing their cities.
Yes.
Right.
And now what? Now he's supposed to. His family is supposed to starve because he can't play football anymore.
You're right, and even on the mental side of it, like the depression, like you say, suicide, all kind of like the mental health side of it. A lot of these players are never going to be the same again.
No,
they don't get. A lot of these guys probably going to need therapy. They're not going to get therapy. A lot of these guys who's in the league right now who probably on their way out the league, is actually thinking twice about continuing to play football.
Right.
I'm seeing more and more younger guys playing there 4 years and they're getting up out of there. They're getting just enough to get their pension and they take as much money as they can and they're getting up out of there. They're not playing 10, 14, 15 years anymore. The mental aspect of it, nobody really pays a lot of attention because a lot of these guys, when they leave football, they don't know what's next.
No, they don't.
It's a not for long game. Not for long sports. So when they leave, they have to have stuff in place for them. This guy is going to leave out. He's going to leave out because he has to leave out. Nobody's going to sign this guy again. So
no, and it's just amazing that I mean, we talk about, let's just say you played a healthy career. Now, you guys that have played this sport and been sports, I never thought I was good enough to be competitive at that, at a level higher than high school ball or whatever. But those who dedicate themselves and you're used to the adulation, the camaraderie, the going to battle with your boys, the all of the stuff. And then suddenly you're 35 and it's over.
Right.
And the 35. Teams, or earlier.
You mean
the
30.
Teams,
25. Because the average career is only 3 years in the national football.
Yep.
And the teams push you away. There should be more activity in rounding these guys up that contributed to continue to be close to the game. because it's a huge cutoff. And it's like, wait, I know all these guys. I can't come to see them no more. I can't be attached to them anymore. And that's a healthy dude.
Yeah.
What about the ones that, like Coach said, the ones dealing with the mental issues, the separation, all that.
Yeah.
So I think the door is open now for all of that. And I wouldn't be shocked if I see a strike, even though they got a CBA, to say, we got to renegotiate the part of what you do for players who suffer mental anguish, debilitating injuries, that kind of thing. We can't go out here, we're making a lot of money if we make it. I mean, heck.
And we're going to talk about guaranteed contracts. That's what they're going to have to really
my God.
have that come to Jesus moment. So look, I got about 3 minutes, maybe a little less than 3 minutes. So before I lose you all, I just want to put this out here. And I know you guys embrace the idea. We talked about it off camera, but I want the viewers to feel it. So we don't know how this brother is going to be able to eat. Yes, this almost $8 million in his nonprofit. He can't touch that money. Okay, that is for his charity. But what I did find out, Coach and Eric, is that the NFL players, their jerseys, they get 2/3 of the money from the jersey sales. The other third goes to the players' union. So I was going to do it. I didn't have time to do it today. I was going to come on camera. I'm just going to order from the Bills, Buffalo Bills website. They have all these teams have like a store or a shop. Or you can just go to the NFL's website and order a DAMAR HAMLIN jersey. So I'm encouraging everybody to buy as many jerseys. Look, buy a whole box, buy a case of jerseys and just give them out. But that way, that's money that the brother can actually touch, because he can't touch that damn near $8 million in the charity. That's great. But he's going to need some charity. I got about 2 minutes. What do you all think about that idea?
Guaranteed contracts should have been happening a long time ago, Geno. The most dangerous sports they play, should get paid and compensated for that guaranteed money.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. Absolutely. It should have been happening.
Anything we can do to help the brother, because we know, legally, NFL's a big corporation and exempt from other stuff and the legal ramifications in a lot of ways. Let's see what they're made of, but I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for them to do the absolute right thing. And so if we can help in any way by buying a Hamlin jersey or whatever, so we can touch 2/3 of that money, we should get a big old campaign going to have all the fans around the nation go ahead and buy a jersey, so this young man can cover medical expenses or cover expenses post his recovery and all that kind of stuff. And until, hopefully he recovers fully enough to function as a normal human being again. And then, so he can pick up and his family's taken care of, and he can find the next thing for him to do that isn't putting your life.
Could have said it any better. I knew I was about to lose the live shot. I want to thank both of them. Coach Chris Matthews and Eric Clemons, a sports broadcaster, filmmaker, the whole 9 yards. Hey, listen, thanks, everybody. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for letting me come into your home, on your tablet, or your smartphone. God bless each and every one of you, and especially you. So I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. in Chicago, 3:30 p.m. out on the West Coast. Please subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Okay. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Creek right here in the Goose Creek area. Really, Goose Creek is just like a suburb of the Charleston, South Carolina metro. So check him out online. Kel be cutting up. That's KELBECUTTINUP, because Kel be cutting them clippers, them scissors be cutting up. Allie Jones is the drip director of the Geno Jones Show, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist. You can check her out on Instagram, lx.ncl_. Underscore is that little dash below. So it's L like Lexi, X like extra, dot, N like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi _ And Bruce Gage, he's the owner. He has the Mario Uomo collection. As a matter of fact, he's got a showroom, beautiful, like a loft showroom in Chicago, but you can check out the Mario Uomo collection and the Fly Ball collection. It is he's one of the few vendors that carries the officially licensed Negro Baseball League gear. So they have apparel, they have jackets like baseball varsity jackets, they have t-shirts, they have sweaters, they have ties, and more. So check out the Fly Ball collection and the Mario Uomo collection, which this jacket is a part of the Mario Uomo collection. So check him out on Instagram. It's Miglio D Mario Uomo, MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. MIGILIO DIMARIO UOMO. Mario Uomo. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be on Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Oh, man, I got a show for your ass on Monday. Wait until you tune in. I'm not going to tell you about it. Just tune in. In the meantime, if you missed some of the show, go back and watch this. Binge watch all my back episodes. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Please pray for peace. Continue to pray for Brother DAMAR HAMLIN. And just pray for everyone. Pray for his family as I pray for you and your family. And I welcome your prayers too. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the shows. Go binge watch, pop you some popcorn, get you some peanuts, your favorite beverage, whatever you got. Order you some wings, get you some fries, some salad, something healthy. I bake some catfish like I'm about to do. And me and you, well, all weekend, right here, binge watch my back episodes, and me and you live Monday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, all right? God bless. I love you. Thanks for watching once again. Thanks to Coach Chris Matthews and Eric Clemons.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.